there is a ticket assigned to me and I need to take action. You should reassign the issue to that particular person, just doing things as it comes without any planning. Hello everyone, so in this video let us talk about assignee field versus a user picker field in your project when you want to maybe do some kind of approval system, or maybe you want to keep on assigning or reassigning the task or an issue to several people who are going to work on it. When you're trying to build some kind of approval system, I think that is where this use case makes sense, because in Jira we of course have the assignee field, and fundamentally Jira assignee field should be used for a very clear ownership. So if an issue is assigned to a specific user, then it means that that user, that person should take some action on it. If you have plans to build an approval system in your Jira instance for your project, you can do that. An approval system is nothing but some workflow where you have some states. For example, you can have an approval like approval from PM, approval from CAB, approval from tech team, approval from some program manager, right? So this approval can be done by either one person or maybe multiple people, or maybe one of those people from these departments. And in this video, I don't really want to dive into how to build an approval system. In fact, on my channel, I think I've shown a couple of times with example using either script runner and also without script runner how to build an approval system in Jira. But what I wanted to talk about and focus on in this video is the usage of the assignee field and a user picker field. Now, when you are talking about approvals, you basically want someone to take some action, right? Let us say you want first of all a PM to approve or reject your issue or a ticket. If you're talking about Jira Service Management, you can of course use the assignee field and assign that particular issue to one of those PM, or maybe a PM if you have just one PM, and of course that person will get notification, or it will somewhere pop up on the dashboard. It will appear in their queue that okay, there is a ticket assigned to me and I need to take action. This works really well. But you may want to later on report on who approved your issue, when they approved it. Maybe you want to report on it. So when it comes to using a user picker field, of course, you are going to add a new user picker field, maybe not just one, but maybe multiple user picker fields. And then of course, you need to later on look at these fields somewhere, maybe in your report, that okay, these are my users who actually approved the ticket or rejected the ticket or an issue. When using a custom field, a user picker field, you have of course better clarity. But I think, based on my experience, if you want to keep things simple, just use the assignee field and keep on reassigning the issue to different people, which works again for simple use cases. But when you want to build something solid like a proper approval system, then you need to do it a bit more smartly. Of course, we have to also think of using some automations. Imagine you have an approval system where anyone from the PM team or anyone from a CAB committee can approve it, or they can reject it, or maybe you need multiple people from that particular team to approve it. So in that case, of course, a separate field or multi-user picker field can definitely help. I would say that irrespective of using a separate field or using just assignee field, you should still try to use the assignee field to indicate the ownership at that particular time. For example, imagine you have a new ticket which is being raised. Now in the beginning, you want either a PM or anyone from the PM team to review the ticket and reject it or approve it, right? Now you can definitely update that particular user picker field. Maybe you can do it based on some automation. Maybe you can let the requester of the ticket to fill it up, or maybe you can do it based on the role, or maybe based on a group, right? So we have multiple ways of doing it, but imagine this field is filled in. What you can do using automation, you can automatically assign the ticket, let that person be there in the user picker field, but also at the same time use the assignee field to automatically assign the issue or a ticket to that particular person from that particular field. So PM or whoever is going to approve or supposed to approve will be there in that particular field. Similarly, when the ticket goes to tech review or CAB review, make sure you use the field with the actual username, but at the same time, you should reassign the issue to that particular person. Of course, in that case, you will have two fields showing the same user, but when you are using the assignee field, because everything is based on assignee in Jira, right, when it comes to ownership, when you assign the ticket to someone, everyone knows that this ticket is assigned to this user and this user is going to take some action, and that should be encouraged. Whenever we are talking about who should be doing things or work in Jira for different activities, of course issues, you can look at the assignee field, and assigning of the issue is going to, of course, do either the work. It could be just clicking a button if they are approving it. And at the same time, if you're using assigning fields in Jira, this also works for the user picker fields. You already have notifications in Jira which you can use, and when you are looking at the notifications as well, just by assigning the ticket to someone, they will get notification if you have enabled notifications in the permission schemes. So you don't really have to configure or create new notifications or some kind of a custom notification. So this is something that I thought I'll probably talk about, because people are actually confused, especially new Jira admins, what they do in the beginning, and this actually happens a lot. In a way, it's a good thing for us because people reach out to us for fixing these issues so that they can improve their way of working and also improve the health of their Jira instance. But what we have seen from our experience looking at the messed up Jira instances, when you have in the beginning a Jira admin who was just doing things as it comes, without any planning, without any thinking, without worrying about how this solution will scale in future, you will see that they just keep on adding different fields, they keep on adding different states in the workflow, and they have different options that they have enabled somewhere, maybe in the workflow by maybe using a post function, or maybe by adding a lot of validators. So the thing is that when you're trying to build something like a proper solution in Jira, of course you can do things as it comes, and you can do enhancements in Jira ad hoc basis, but ideally you should give it a thought. You should look at the whole solution end to end. I mean, of course, if you are adding a custom field maybe in the next 6 months, or maybe just changing the workflow slightly, I think it is probably fine. But sometimes when you are just doing patchwork in Jira, and I want to use the word patchwork, you will end up with a solution which is fragile, and it is actually a very difficult situation for Jira admins, because we have to then fix or apply more patches. Sometimes you reach a point in your implementation. It could be any implementation. It could be, I'm using this example of approval system because approval system is actually very common. People actually want to use Jira for bureaucracy. They want to follow a process, and that is what they expect Jira to reflect. And when it comes to something like approval system with a lot of automations and capturing fields and different statuses, and of course all those validators and conditions and behaviors, we actually have very hard time fixing things or change something to an existing implementation. So that is why I think it is very important that you, irrespective of what you're building in Jira, you give it a thought. And that is why I'm making this video. Wherever applicable, try to keep things simple, especially in this particular use case where you want to use the assignee field or a user picker field. Try to minimize the usage of these custom fields as much as you can, because eventually, I mean, of course, when you have a problem with Jira that you want to solve, a solution could be that, okay, let us add a field. And it may seem like a normal, wise thing to do, but imagine everyone in the organization, like different stakeholders, different projects, they all have a similar requirement, and almost everyone knows how Jira works, so they know that, okay, adding a custom field is just a small thing for them, because in their project they just have maybe 2 custom fields, so maybe they want to add a third one. Of course, I'm talking about this example of custom field, but in general you should try to spend some time and think about whatever you're trying to build in Jira. So using a custom field for user picker makes sense, but only do it when you know you have to build an approval system where there's a requirement. Maybe there's a requirement due to some regulations or compliance where you need to track. You need to ensure that you can reach out to that person maybe after 6 months or maybe after 2 years, that yes, you approved this ticket, and you can see your name, and you can also see, of course, in the history. But at the same time, for simple implementations, just keep on using the assignee field and reassign it to your different stakeholders or whoever is going to approve or reject. Alright, yeah, that is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope I have given you some ideas and clues, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much.